When we hear the term mental illness, many of us are overwhelmed and even scared, as many of us don't understand what mental illness is. It's important that we break the stigma and shame of mental illness. Let's learn some of the facts. Mental illness and addiction is a wide range of disorders that affect mood, thinking, and behavior. There are many symptoms that can occur depending on the disorder and often affect a person's ability to function and their personal relationships. Mental illness can affect everyone, all ages, social classes, cultures, and education levels. The magnitude of mental illness is overwhelming, and no one is immune. Everyone is exposed to mental illness. Often we have a family member, a friend, or a colleague that is living with mental illness. Although many people don't talk about it, it is there, and we are all affected by it. In any given year, 1 in 5 Canadians will experience some sort of mental illness, condition, or addiction. That's 50% of our population. That doesn't mean that they will live with it forever, but they'll definitely be exposed to it. 50% of individuals will develop a mental illness by the time they are 40. This may be a short bout of mild depression or anxiety, or something much more serious. The majority of mental illness starts in childhood or adolescence, which means childhood development is affected and will likely affect their performance in school and the relationships. It's important to recognize and treat mental illness early. It is interesting to note that youth and young adults between 15 to 24 are more likely to develop a substance disorder or mental illness as compared to other age groups. Women are more likely to develop a mood or anxiety disorder. This might include depression, anxiety, or social phobia, for example. It may be related to the fact that people are more likely to seek treatment than men, or that there are biological differences in genders. Men are more likely to abuse drugs or alcohol. This may be related to the impact of society, biological differences, or that men are more likely to be affected by peer pressure. Physical and mental health are interrelated. People who have chronic conditions are more likely to develop a mood disorder. Individuals who have a mood disorder are more likely to develop a chronic condition. Individuals who have a mental illness are more likely than the general population to develop a substance abuse disorder or addiction. An overwhelming amount of individuals are prone to develop a mental illness if they have a substance abuse problem, approximately 30%. Income and social status are determinants of health. Those that have higher income and social status can develop mental illness. However, people in lower income groups are more likely to develop mental illnesses. Many homeless people report having mental illness, especially in Canadian cities, approximately 23 to 67%. This could be related to many factors, including poverty, lack of support systems, and vulnerability. Although people who live with mental illness are more likely to have shorter lifespans, suicide is one of the highest causes of death in both men and women in Canada. Many factors may lead to mental illness, including genetic makeup, physical trauma, misuse of substances, including street drugs and alcohol, psychological trauma, and stress. People do recover from mental illness, and it is different with each individual. Some may completely recover from symptoms, while others may live well, either in the presence or absence of symptoms. The stigma and discrimination surrounding mental illness is overwhelming. Many people don't talk about their mental illness and fear of being judged by others. Knowing what to say to someone who has mental illness is often difficult. Listen to their concerns. Try to understand their point of view. It's important to reach an agreement with them about their symptoms and seeking treatment, and conveying empathy and partnering with them to reach goals. It is important to remember that mental health is health, that those suffering with mental illness need hope, healing, a sense of empowerment, as well as support through social connections to recover and live well. Thank you for listening.